Hey guys, it's Andrea from the blog Pine and Prospect Home, and today I want to give you a little update on my fireplace. So I'm going to talk to you guys about how I lightened up my 100-year-old barn beam mantle and kind of the process I used to sort of change the color of it. If you follow me over on Instagram, you know that I was chatting about this past weekend in stories. I've kind of been going back and forth about this color that I painted the built-ins. A lot of you know that when I first painted them, I wasn't 100% sure about it. I love this color so much in other people's homes, and something about it here was feeling off to me. And before I completely went back to white and changed my mind about the color, I have had a lot of time to just rest and kind of look around at my house. Haven't really done a whole lot around the house, haven't had the energy to. In case you're new here, I am 16 weeks pregnant, so yeah, I haven't done a whole lot around the house, but I've just sort of been sitting on the couch looking at this, fireplace situation and trying to decide, okay, what is it that's bothering me? Is it the color of the built-ins? Or is it the combination of the wood and this color? And I started doing some research, looking around Pinterest and kind of seeing whenever I found this color in a home that I loved, I would kind of look at the wood tones in that photo and see if they matched what I had, and they just didn't. And I think that was what was bothering me. And so, not this past Saturday, but the Saturday before, I went ahead and started playing around with this beam. And in stories on Instagram, I told you guys that I lightened up the color of my beam, and I could not believe the amount of people that said, please tell us how you did this, we want to know. So I thought that today I would just share the process with you. We're still not done with this project, still playing around with it and tweaking it a bit. But the first thing that I did was find some sandpaper that was quite rough. I believe the lower the number, the more rough it is. My husband, if he were standing here, he would tell me all the correct terms to use. But the higher you go, like a 120, 220, the finer the grit, the softer your sandpaper is going to be. So I started with a really low number, I want to say like 60 or 80, and I just started kind of going over this beam. I think when we initially installed it, I was so scared to sand it because I didn't want it to lose its character. And the moment I started sanding, I was able to kind of tone down a bit of the, I hate to say that the beam was red or orange, it wasn't, but it just had a very deep, warm tone to it. And I wanted it to be a little bit softer, a little bit lighter. And so I started sanding it, really liked where it was headed, and that was my first step, just going over the whole thing with a really rough grit sandpaper. Once I did that, I started experimenting with how I could soften the yellow, orange tones that were in the beam. The first thing I tried was bleach, and interestingly enough, I tested a small area. I'll show you a picture here. The bleach actually turned my beam pink. It was just crazy to me, the reaction. So thankfully, I was able to sand that off quickly. And so I did that and decided against the bleach. And the next step was a very scary one. I was extremely nervous to do this, but I knew if I just went on super light, I could always sand it off again. So I dipped a paintbrush in the tiniest amount of white chalk paint that you can imagine. I mean, barely touched it to the paint, so that the end of my bristles were just speckled in white. And then I put my brush in a little dish, plastic Tupperware, and I added some water so that the consistency was almost like milk. It looked like milk in my little dish. It was like watered down white, like a whitewash is probably the correct term for it. And I just lightly went over a small area with this whitewash that I had created, and I grabbed my blow dryer from upstairs, plugged it into an extension cord, and I just quickly hit the area with heat because I wanted it to dry quickly to see what it would dry like, what it would look like. I didn't want to wait for that water to dry. And immediately I loved the way it was looking. It was exactly the tone that I wanted. So I gave everything a pretty light coat in this whitewash. And what I ended up doing is just I continued to blow dry. After applying the whitewash, I would blow dry it, and then I would stand back and look at it and apply more where I thought it was necessary. So probably overall, I did about 3 coats of this whitewash on my beam, and you can't really even tell. I mean, honestly, I don't think you can tell that it's even been whitewashed. I didn't want it to look gray. I didn't want it to look white. The only thing I was trying to do was tone down whatever orange or red or yellow that you were seeing in the wood itself. I wanted it to have this very natural, weathered look to it. And I have to say, I absolutely love the way it turned out. The combination of this wood with this beautiful putty mushroom color, as I called it last year, is just beautiful to me. And after doing about 3 coats of the whitewash and blow drying it all down, I took a very fine sandpaper. I don't remember what the number was. I want to say it was a 120. Maybe higher than that, but it was just very fine, and I just softly went over the beam just in case there were any heavy spots of whitewash, you know, to try to smooth out any splotchiness. I think it could still be sanded one more time, just to make sure it's all even. Sometimes when I take pictures, I notice some areas that look lighter or darker than others. So I'll probably go over it one more time with my fine grit sandpaper, but overall I'm loving the way this beam is looking. If you have a piece of wood in your house that you've sanded down and it's down to the raw wood, I mean, just like this beast of a beam, this is just the natural, it wasn't stained or anything. The color that it was before is the color that it was when we picked it up. Now, you may have noticed in the background of this video, the wooden part of this shelf back here is no longer there. That's because the wood was just way too orangey, just way too warm for me. Did not match the beam at all anymore. Once I had done this treatment on the beam, they didn't go together at all. And so my husband said we could probably, you know, salvage the wood. We don't have to buy new wood. Let me just try sanding it down. And that's what he did. You can see here on the bench, he has sanded down the bench. He has one more piece to do downstairs. And what I'm gonna try to do is find a stain similar to this tone and re-stain the wood that was on my shelf and bench. So I'll keep you posted on this project. For today, I just wanted to explain the process of the beam since I had so many people asking in stories over on Instagram how I achieved this look. I really think it's beautiful. Have I decided yet if I'm gonna keep this mushroom putty color? No, I have not decided yet. It's so funny how, you know, I say team white. I always call it team white. So many of you are totally team white. I mean, I had messages from people saying I made the wrong decision. This was an accident. And I know that people are drawn towards white. White is popular, it's fresh. And I love white. I painted my entryway white. I painted my sunroom white. I love white. I don't know why. I was craving change in this room. And I am glad, let me just say, I am glad that I painted these. If I hadn't painted these built-ins, I'm a very visual person, and I have to see things to know if I like the way they're gonna look. And I personally think that if I had not painted these, I would still be wondering today, what would my built-ins look like if they were a different color? What would my built-ins look like if I painted them, you know, this beigey, putty mushroom color? I wonder what they would look like. I would be wondering all the time, and I'm so glad I did it. I just want to finish playing around with the wood, style the space before I make any, you know, drastic decisions on either going white, or I even had some friends suggest painting the built-ins the same color as my wall, which I thought was interesting as well. So we'll see what I end up doing. It's just paint. And I think that what we have to remember about our homes is that, I guess I have a frog in my throat today, I'm so sorry. I'm not getting sick or anything. In fact, I'm sipping some tea as I film this video because it's just, I have something in my throat. But what I wanted to tell you guys and end this video with is don't be afraid to make bold moves in your home. I mean, is it a lot of work? Sometimes, but if something is gonna haunt you, you know, if you're sitting in your home, it's your home, and you're looking at something and you want to change it up so badly, but you are just so afraid of failure that you never will. I mean, what fun is that? Life is too short for that. Just be fearless, make those bold decisions. If you fail, that's okay. That's how we learn. And that's what I love about what I like to call playing house. I used to play house when I was little all the time and draw my future house and design rooms and cut out magazine clippings and glue them together, and not much has changed today. I still do that with my house. You know, what's so awesome about that is that when you make these decisions and you fail and you think, well, that didn't end up the way I thought it would end up, now you know, and now you can move forward and you don't have to struggle with that what if in your head anymore. You can confidently move forward thinking and knowing, hey, I tried that, I didn't like it, it was a huge no, but I'm so glad I tried it. And so, anyways, I hope that encourages you guys today. I know that a lot of the people I talk to, a lot of my friends, they crave change. They want to do things in their homes, but they're just so scared to. And believe me, I know the feeling, especially when you have a YouTube channel with a large audience that you're sharing with. Because not only am I just playing around for myself, but I'm also sharing it with the world, and it can be scary. It's very scary to open up and show people your home and hear criticism and read the negative comments. But you know, like I said, we can't take our homes too seriously. It's just stuff. And while I treasure my home, you guys know how I feel about home. It should be a haven. I think it's important. I also believe that we should have the freedom to just be creative within our spaces and not let what other people think dictate what we do within our own homes. And so I'm gonna keep playing with this area. Sorry for being chatty today. But I like the way it's headed with the new beam color. I can't wait to get the other wood all situated, and I will give you guys an update as soon as we have those projects done. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching today. If you are new to my channel, I would love for you to hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.